What's up, you guys? Today I'm going to be talking about building generational wealth through e-commerce. If you're new to my channel, my name is Simone Prendergast. I'm an entrepreneur and digital marketing coach, and I'm all about teaching women how to make money online through e-commerce. So let me give you a little bit of a backstory before I get into that. I worked in corporate America for like 20 years, and I also worked full-time while going to college full-time. And I was never really fulfilled. My passion was either to work in media or to be an entrepreneur. And my degree actually was in communications and media studies. Anyways, I had my fair share of ups and downs in the corporate world, like most people do. But like I said, the passion was never really there. And I just felt like I was meant for a higher calling. Like, I was really meant to serve the world in a bigger way. That was always my gut feeling. However, like most people, I was plagued with these self-limiting beliefs, imposter syndrome, because for a while I wanted to start my own business, but I just felt like, who's going to support me? Like, what resources do I have? But I always had the passion for it. I grew up in Jamaica, and that's what I saw my parents doing. My parents were always very innovative, and I just learned from them. I think it's in my DNA. I've always wanted to do my own business, but once again, I had these limiting beliefs. I just thought that I wouldn't be successful, and for a while, I just kind of struggled with that. So I'm going to tell you what really happened that actually forced me to become an entrepreneur. In my last corporate job, I was with the company for like 10 years. And basically, in my opinion, I was doing a great job. But I unfortunately experienced racial discrimination. And what really occurred was that I saw all of these people who were new, they had no job experience, all these, young kids coming out of college. And I'd been with the company for many years, and they would come, and after like 2 to 3 years, they'd be promoted. And, after a while, I just got the message. I was like, you know what? These people are never going to give me a seat at the table. Doesn't matter what I did or what I do, but I just realized that it just was not in the cards for me. And for a while, it made me very, very depressed. But you know what? And I didn't see this until long after. Things really don't happen to you, they happen for you. And this situation was really happening for me, but I wasn't really seeing it that way at the time. And, like anybody else, I got very depressed. I really hated going to my job every day after a while. And you know what? I decided that if these people are going to give me a seat at the table, then I'm going to build my own table. And that was exactly what I did. So while at work, I started selling jewelry to women in the office. And this was something that my first time entering into the jewelry business was when I was 18 years old, when I was still living back in Jamaica. And I remember I had a friend who went to the island of St. Martin to buy fine gold jewelry. And she was selling it to people. And I was like, oh my God, that's something I would really love to do. So I saved my money and I went with her on the next trip. And I got a couple pieces. I saved, it was like $1,000 at the time. That was all I could afford to save. And I went with her, and I did get a decent amount of pieces. And a few weeks after I came back home, everything sold out. So it was not my first time entering into the jewelry business. And a jewelry business is one of those things that it really can have a low barrier to entry, And so I started selling my pieces to the women in the office. Once again, like I said, it was a large corporate office, a lot of women, and it was doing really well. So I said, you know what, let me try to do these happy hour events. And I started inviting women to happy hour. I called them my booze and bling. And a lot of them started coming, and the jewelry was just selling. And I was like, oh my God, it seems like this is something that could really do well. And with the encouragement of my husband, I decided to launch an e-commerce, or turning into an e-commerce brand. And so I went online and, I went on Shopify. I opened my store on Shopify, and I started uploading, like the images of my products and all of that. And I was very excited, but I was still new to e-commerce and wasn't really sure what I was doing. And I just thought that, people would so magically find the website. So I put my stuff up and, put in the prices and all of that stuff. And my husband was like, great, your site looks nice, but nobody's going to buy anything. I'm like, why? What do you mean by nobody's going to buy anything? It's like, well, nobody knows you exist. And so that's when I started to read everything I could read about launching an e-commerce brand. And I started doing courses on Facebook ads, acquiring customer, email marketing, and all that stuff. And after a couple of weeks, once again, with the help of my husband, I decided to start running some Facebook ads, and the traffic just started coming. I was like really, really shocked. And within, I think, like a few days after, I made my first sale, and I was just so excited. I think it's like literally 2 or 3 days after, because the first strategy that I was using did not work. And, we had to go back to the drawing board and, shift some things around and look at what competitors were doing and that sort of stuff. And, shortly after, the sales started coming, and then it started with like 1 sale, then 2, then 3, then 5, and then before you knew it, it really, really took off. And I was like, wow, I was really, really shocked that this was happening. I must say though that I was a little hesitant to take my brand online because I was like, who's gonna buy jewelry from me? I'm just a little mom and pop shop. When you have like Swarovski and Pandora and all those big names, I just never thought that I would have a chance. But shortly after, I figured out that people really didn't care as long as you had the product that they wanted at the price point that they wanted, and you were using the right marketing strategy. So that's what I really want to talk to you about today. So guys, I'd love to emphasize that mentorship is super, super critical. It is very important, because if it wasn't for those courses that I did, I wouldn't have been able to learn the strategies that made it possible for me to make 6 figures. I still couldn't believe it. I made 6 figures in only a few short months after launching my brand online. And it was because I went and learned from all the people that were in the industry and that were succeeding. Okay, so mentorship is super, super critical if you're going to win in e-commerce. And I did this all while working a 9-to-5 job. And the most important thing was my job wasn't paying me 6 figures. So when I thought about that situation that I had to deal with at work that made me so depressed, you know what? I was like, at the end of the day, I got the last laugh. So that's what I mean when I say things don't happen to you, they happen for you. So building generational wealth through e-commerce is extremely possible. It's not hard to do, guys. All you need is the right set of products in front of the right audience and the right marketing strategies to be successful. So there's a cosmetic brand called Native. And when I say cosmetics, I don't mean makeup. I mean, they first started by selling like natural deodorant, and now they sell like body wash, and they're slowly expanding. But I use their products and love, love, love their products. And they are all about using simple, natural ingredients in their products. And this brand sold to, I believe, Unilever within 2.5 years after inception for $100 million. Actually, they sold their brand to Procter & Gamble for $100 million only 2.5 years after inception. How awesome is that? So there's also this watch company called Movement. Most of you guys probably heard about them. They are crushing it in e-commerce, and they are doing an amazing job on social media. And that was what really helped them. The ethos behind their brand is like, basically, they're providing you with these cool watches that are affordable. And these two guys, when I say they are crushing it, They are really creating a revolution in the watch industry, and they were able to sell this brand for $200 million to the Movado watch company, which most of you guys know Movado. They're a luxury watch brand. How awesome is that? So when I say that it is possible to create generational wealth from creating your own e-commerce brand, it is very, very, very possible, okay? There's also the Dollar Shave Club. Now, I don't use razors like that, but I've seen their ads and they are super funny. They connect with their audience through humor. However, they basically provide razors to men on like a subscription basis, and they were acquired by Unilever for $1 billion. And the last brand that I'm going to mention is pretty personal to me, because actually my brother is friends with the owner. And this is a black hair care brand by the name of Canvas Beauty Brand. And it was created by Stormy Steele in her kitchen. And when I say that this black hair care brand is really doing a massive disrupt in the hair care industry, in the black hair care industry, they really are. They made a whopping $20 million in 2020. And this was only after being, coming on the market like roughly 2 years after. So that's why I say, guys, it is completely possible to create generational wealth through e-commerce. All you need, once again, are the right products in front of the right audience and the right marketing strategies. So if you are ready to launch your own e-commerce brand and start creating generational wealth for you and your family, click on the link below and register for my masterclass. In this class, I break down the strategies that I use to scale to 6 figures in only a few short months. Okay, guys, you don't want to miss this. So go ahead and click on the link below and register for this masterclass. But before you leave, please go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my channel so you can be the first to be notified whenever I drop new videos weekly. Once again, I'm Simone Prendergast. It's always a pleasure to be providing you with valuable information. And until next time, be well.